The Sean Diddy Combs trial has exploded into a scandal that threatens to engulf Beyoncé and Jay-Z with whispers of their involvement in Diddy's illicit world, sending shockwaves through Hollywood. Leaked tapes, canceled tours, and rumors of a desperate escape plan paint a chilling picture of control, betrayal, and a crumbling empire. As prosecutors close in the music industry's power couple faces a reckoning that could unravel everything. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The following is intended solely for educational and entertainment purposes. Alright, let's talk about what's really going down with Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Because this situation is messier than anyone expected. You've got rumors, tapes, federal prosecutors naming names, and according to the streets, B and J are not just in the mix, they might be next on the hit list. Now let's back up a bit. Things started heating up once Diddy's trial really picked up steam. We're talking bombshell testimonies, leaked tapes, and court documents that shook the industry. But the wildest part, it's not just Diddy people are worried about. Prosecutors are allegedly preparing to toss some of his closest associates under the bus, names that carry just as much weight. And apparently Beyoncé and Jay-Z are right at the top of that list. Jay-Z is setting Diddy up, he ain't doing different. This ain't just speculation. Sources say Beyoncé's already canceled some upcoming tour dates and is seriously considering leaving the country with Jay. Not for a vacation, oh no, this is more like a strategic escape. Word is they're planning to pull a Russell Simmons and vanish to a country with no extradition treaty just in case things get legal. See, folks used to think Jay-Z was the one hanging around Diddy's wild parties, and Beyoncé was just caught up by association. But now it's looking like she was in the mix too. There's talk that she wasn't just a passive bystander, that she knew about the freak-off lifestyle and rolled with it. And now that prosecutors are circling, they're both allegedly trying to get out before the fire gets too close. Here's where it gets even murkier. Before all this madness, Jay and Diddy were tight, like real tight. Jay was one of the only two people allowed to call Diddy by his real name, Sean. The other, Diddy's mom. That's not casual friendship, that's inner circle status. Their bond was public too. Jay and Beyoncé used to host Diddy at their annual Roc Nation brunch every year. Dude was all over their site. Then the Cassie lawsuit dropped and boom, Diddy got iced out like he never existed. But cutting ties with Diddy after the fact didn't stop people from putting two and two together. One story that had folks raising eyebrows came from rapper DaBaby. He claimed that back in 2020, he was invited to a super private party at Diddy's place in LA. And guess who else was in the room with only a handful of other people? Jay-Z and Beyoncé. DaBaby made it sound like an exclusive elite gathering. But the vibe he described, yeah, it gave off freak-off energy. And that's where things started clicking for the internet detectives. Now here's what's truly wild. Jay-Z himself has some seriously questionable history that people are finally starting to talk about again. Years ago, he was rumored to have had a relationship with Foxy Brown when she was just 15. Jay-Z worked hard to change the narrative of that. It's always been surrounded by whispers. But the real twist, his former business partner Dame Dash didn't deny it when asked. In fact, Dame got so uncomfortable during an interview that he basically told the host to ask Jay directly because he didn't want to confirm anything on camera. Add that to Jay's known collaborations with R. Kelly, and people started seeing a disturbing pattern. He's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. Jay made a whole album with R. Kelly and even toured with him. And when Dame was asked why he distanced himself from Jay, he straight up said it was because Jay never distanced himself from R. Kelly. That's a big deal. So when people talk about Jay being another version of Diddy, yeah, they might be on to something. And the Beyoncé connection, that only makes the story crazier. And we're just getting started. Jay-Z and Beyoncé's relationship has always looked flawless on the outside. Carpet's power couple energy, carefully curated images like they were the untouchable royals of the music world. But behind the scenes, it's looking more like a high-stakes business arrangement than some fairy tale romance. And now that their names are being whispered in court circles, folks are digging deeper into how this all started, and it's unsettling. Jay has always had a pattern. Powerful, older, experienced, and constantly drawn to young rising women entering the industry. After the Foxy Brown situation came and went with hush money rumors, the next person in the spotlight was Aaliyah. According to people close to the scene, Jay started making moves on Aaliyah after R. Kelly's sketchy marriage to her was exposed. Jay would send her flowers, invite her to events, try to charm her the way only a mogul knows how. But Aaliyah wasn't having it. She was reportedly more interested in Dame Dash, who was Jay's own business partner at the time. The way insiders describe it, it almost felt like some twisted competition between Jay and Kelly over Aaliyah, as if it was some sick ego game. Now think about 106 and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter, and Mary J. Blige, a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there, talking about the death of Aaliyah. And when Aaliyah tragically died in that plane crash, rumors flew that it wasn't an accident at all. Some even claimed she was sedated without her consent and forced onto the aircraft against her will. Conspiracy or not, it left people asking who really had a hand in what happened. After that chapter closed, Jay focused on Beyoncé. She was young, super talented, and still figuring things out in the industry. According to multiple sources, she didn't have much of a personal life growing up. Her family, especially her mom, was heavily involved in her career, making decisions for her every step of the way. Beyoncé only had one boyfriend in high school, and her dating experience was close to zero. So when Jay showed up, charming, established, and powerful, it was a wrap. Jay once said in an interview that he met Beyoncé when she was just 16, but waited until she turned 18 to officially pursue her. But people close to her say that by the time she was legal, he already had her under his thumb. It wasn't a fair dynamic, it was calculated. She looked up to him, he was the gatekeeper. And once he got in, he took control of everything: her music, her image, her schedule, even her personal freedom. That brings us to Uncle Ron, Beyoncé's former bodyguard, who's been going viral for spilling some heavy stuff. He straight up claimed that Jay got Beyoncé hooked on various substances to keep her manageable, to ensure she stayed dependent and didn't question too much. It's a scary echo of the things Cassie said about Diddy, how he kept her locked into a toxic world using addiction and manipulation. According to people close to Beyoncé, she's been desperately trying to escape. She's fed up with the constant control by Jay, by her team, even by her own mother. She reportedly feels like she's never had a life of her own, like she was molded into a brand from the beginning. And now that everything's falling apart, she's reaching her breaking point. Some say she's been quietly making plans to disappear, to finally cut ties and just vanish. She's been talking about depression, about feeling stuck and hopeless. One source even claims she's had serious thoughts about ending it all, not because she wants to, but because she doesn't see a way out. And now, with the heat from this investigation intensifying, she may be running out of time to make that move. The internet is watching every move Jay-Z and Beyoncé make, and things aren't looking good. Fans who once defended them are now asking hard questions. How deep were they really involved with Diddy? Why are so many disturbing patterns showing up when you trace their past? And most importantly, why are they suddenly so quiet? People started piecing things together fast. The Rock Nation brunch that used to be the biggest celebrity networking event of the year gone. No announcement, no reason, just vanished after Diddy's scandal exploded. Jay and Bey used to post about it like clockwork. Celebs used to beg for an invite. But now radio silence. Their team hasn't said a word, and that alone has people convinced they're trying to disappear fast. Then there's the money angle. Word on the street is Beyoncé had already started stacking up for an exit, quietly pulling out of deals, renegotiating contracts, even canceling planned tours. Not because of low ticket sales, but because she's trying to gather every coin she can before cutting out. There were even whispers about a planned divorce, one she would announce after securing her bag and slipping away from Jay entirely. But then the prosecutors allegedly got wind of both of them, and suddenly that divorce plan turned into a let's flee the country together situation. People close to their circle say they're looking at countries with no extradition treaties, places where the US can't legally drag them back if charges come down. Think luxury homes overseas, off-the-grid properties, new identities. They know what happened to Diddy, raids, lawsuits, media frenzy. They're trying to avoid that same fate. It's wild to think how fast public perception has flipped. For years, Jay-Z was the savvy businessman, the reformed hustler who became a billionaire mogul. Beyoncé was the goddess of music, flawless, untouchable, a symbol of power and grace. But now the cracks are showing. The control, the manipulation, the obsession with image, it's all coming out, and people aren't ignoring it anymore. When Cassie's lawsuit went public, there was initial shock. But when the details got deeper, when tapes dropped, when stories started aligning, people started wondering how many others were involved, how many stars knew what was going on behind closed doors, and stayed quiet because it benefited them. Jay and Bey's names were already circulating in the gossip mill, but now they're being whispered in legal circles too. That's a whole different level of danger. There's also a growing movement online demanding that they be held accountable, not just socially but legally. Some are calling for their passports to be flagged. Others want investigations opened immediately. And the scariest part, this time it's not just haters saying it, it's fans. People who once adored Beyoncé are now saying things like, "She never looked free. She's been trying to escape for years. We missed the signs." As for Jay, his past is catching up. Old interviews, legal documents, former collaborators, everything's resurfacing. And with Dame Dash refusing to take the fall or stay silent, more dirt could drop at any moment. This isn't about gossip anymore. This is about a collapsing empire, one that built its legacy on talent, power, and silence. But silence doesn't protect you forever. And with the heat rising, it's no wonder they're trying to vanish. The question is, will they succeed, or will the truth catch up before they're gone for good? Thank you for joining us in this pursuit of justice. Please share your reflections below. What moment in this story resonated with you most?